Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
At the heart of this debacle was a proposed minerals deal that could have been worth over $500 billion, a figure that underscores the immense economic stakes involved. Ukraine is sitting on a treasure trove of critical minerals, including lithium, titanium, manganese, graphite, and rare earth elements, which are essential for modern technology, defense systems, and the global transition to clean energy. According to a 2023 Geological Survey report, Ukraine's mineral reserves are valued between $500 billion and $1 trillion, with some estimates even higher when accounting for untapped deposits in regions like Donbas and Crimea. These minerals are not just commodities, they are the lifeblood of industries that power everything from electric vehicles to advanced weaponry. For instance, lithium is crucial for electric vehicle batteries, with companies like Tesla requiring 60,000 tons annually, as per their 2024 filings. Titanium is vital for aerospace and defense, with Lockheed Martin alone consuming 10,000 tons yearly at a cost of $120,000 per ton, according to Aviation Week. Rare earth elements are indispensable for electronics, renewable energy technologies, and military hardware, with global demand reaching 170,000 tons in 2024, as reported by Statista. For the USA, securing access to Ukraine's minerals was a strategic imperative to reduce its dependence on China, which currently controls 80 to 90% of the world's rare earth processing, according to the International Energy Agency. China's dominance in this sector has allowed it to wield significant leverage over global supply chains, as evidenced by its 2023 export restrictions that caused a 15% spike in rare earth prices within a month, costing USA tech companies an estimated $2 billion, per Bloomberg. The proposed deal with Ukraine could have slashed USA reliance on Chinese rare earths by 35%, saving the USA economy between $3 and $5 billion annually.
And he would like to sign it together with me, and I understand that's a big deal, very big deal. Look, it could be $1 trillion deal, it could be whatever, but it's rare earths and other things.
By 2030, according to a 2025 McKinsey report. This would have provided a critical buffer for USA industries, particularly defense contractors like Lockheed Martin, which spends $1.2 billion yearly on titanium, and tech giants like Apple, which incurs $1 billion in costs for rare earth elements. Moreover, the deal was seen as a way to strengthen USA influence in Eastern Europe, counterbalancing Russia's ambitions in the region. For Ukraine, the stakes were even higher. The country has been ravaged by war, with economic losses exceeding $750 billion.
Ціни цьому реально немає. Тобто це великі гроші, дуже великі. І тому це треба захищати. І тому, якщо ми говоримо про діл, те, що хочуть американці, так давайте діл. Ми тільки за. Давайте діл.
According to the Kyiv School of Economics in 2025. The minerals deal was a lifeline, promising to inject $10 to $20 billion annually into Ukraine's economy through foreign direct investment, as projected by Reuters. This influx of capital was crucial for rebuilding infrastructure, stabilizing the economy, and sustaining the war effort against Russia. However, the deal came with strings attached. Trump demanded that Ukraine cede 50% of its mineral profits to the USA as repayment for the $117 billion in aid provided since 2022, per the Congressional Research Service. This demand was a non-starter for Zelensky, who insisted on ironclad security guarantees against future Russian aggression as a precondition for any agreement. The clash over these terms was not just a disagreement over numbers, it was a fundamental conflict between economic pragmatism and national survival. The meeting itself was a masterclass in diplomatic disaster.
Is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No, you've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
President.
Trump, known for his transactional approach to foreign policy, opened with a blunt assessment, stating, "Your country is in big trouble. I know you are not winning this war. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us."
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
Zelensky, maintaining his composure, responded, "We are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war, we have been alone, and we are thankful.
Not only in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
We gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about West?
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak-
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is
Fixated on extracting more gratitude and concessions, escalated the rhetoric, claiming that without USA military equipment, the war would have been over in 2 weeks, in 3 days. I heard it from Putin himself. This remark, referencing a supposed conversation with Russian President Vladimir Putin, was particularly inflammatory, as it suggested a troubling alignment with Russian interests. To make matters worse, Trump exaggerated the amount of USA aid to Ukraine, stating it was $350 billion, when in reality, it is closer to $117 billion, as confirmed by the Congressional Research Service.
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Vice President Vance then joined the fray, accusing Zelensky of being disrespectful and questioning whether he had ever thanked the USA for its support. The exchange grew increasingly hostile, with Zelensky reiterating his gratitude, but standing firm on the need for security guarantees. The meeting ended abruptly, with Zelensky asked to leave and planned joint events, including a lunch and press conference, cancelled. The minerals deal was left in limbo, and USA-Ukraine relations hit an all-time low. The fallout from this incident was swift and severe. European leaders, who have been steadfast supporters of Ukraine, reacted with shock and condemnation. The European Union's High Representative for Foreign Affairs, Josep Borrell, stated that the free world needs a new leader, signaling a loss of confidence in USA leadership under Trump. United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced plans for an emergency meeting with other European leaders to bolster support for Ukraine, while French President Emmanuel Macron reaffirmed France's commitment to Ukraine, calling Russia an aggressor and Ukraine an assaulted people. Dutch Prime Minister Dick Schoof and Foreign Minister Caspar Veldkamp also voiced unwavering support for Ukraine, with Schoof expressing concern over the implications for European security. These reactions underscore the deep anxiety among European allies about the reliability of the USA as a partner in the face of Russian aggression. Domestically, the incident exposed the fractured state of USA politics. Senator Cory Booker condemned Trump's actions as weak and undignified, stating, "They belittled a giant and showed just how small they are." Former Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer accused Trump and Vance of doing Putin's dirty work, while Senator Adam Schiff contrasted Zelensky's heroism with Trump's cowardice. Senator Amy Klobuchar highlighted Zelensky's repeated expressions of gratitude and emphasized Ukraine's role in preventing further Russian aggression in Europe. On the other side, some Republicans, like Senator Lindsey Graham, shockingly called for Zelensky's resignation, a move that highlights the deep partisan divides and the willingness of some to prioritize loyalty to Trump over national interest. Senator Mike Lee praised Trump and Vance for standing up for America, while Representative Jim Banks accused Zelensky of disrespecting the president and expecting the USA to bankroll another forever war. Moderate voices, like Representative Don Bacon, described the events as a bad day for America's foreign policy, acknowledging Ukraine's desire to align with the West. This partisan split is particularly troubling, as it undermines the bipartisan consensus that has historically supported Ukraine's sovereignty and complicates efforts to maintain USA aid. The economic implications of the deal's collapse are staggering. For the USA, losing access to Ukraine's minerals means continued dependence on China for critical resources, which could cost the economy $50 billion annually by 2030 if supply disruptions occur, according to a 2025 Deloitte report. Defense budgets could balloon by $500 million for projects like the F-35 fighter jet, and tech firms like Apple could face $1 to $2 billion in added costs. Per Bloomberg estimates, for Ukraine, the loss of the deal means missing out on $15 billion in foreign direct investment by 2030, which could have fueled economic growth and reconstruction. Instead, Ukraine's GDP growth is projected to plummet from 4% to 1%, with debt levels reaching 100% of GDP, according to the World Bank. The economic void left by the USA could be filled by China, which is already eyeing a $5 billion mining bid, as reported by the South China Morning Post. This would not only deepen China's control over global mineral supplies, but also extend its influence in Eastern Europe, a strategic setback for the USA and its allies. Geopolitically, the incident has emboldened Russia and raised alarms across Europe. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev gloated over Zelensky's humiliation, calling it a proper slapdown, while Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova praised Trump and Vance's restraint for not physically assaulting Zelensky. These reactions suggest that the Kremlin views the discord between the USA and Ukraine as a strategic victory, potentially paving the way for further Russian aggression. Estonian Foreign Minister Margus Tsahkna warned that the only obstacle to peace is Putin's decision to continue his war of aggression, stating, "If Russia stops fighting, there will be no war. If Ukraine stops fighting, there will be no Ukraine." This sentiment reflects the fear among Baltic states that Russia's ambitions extend beyond Ukraine, threatening the security of NATO's eastern flank. The incident has also fueled discussions about the future of NATO, with some European leaders calling for a stronger, more independent European defense posture. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz pledged $10 billion to bolster European defenses, acknowledging that the USA can no longer be relied upon as the sole guarantor of European security. The holy grail behind this entire saga is control over the resources that will define the 21st century. Critical minerals are the new oil, essential for technological innovation, military superiority, and economic dominance. The USA's failure to secure Ukraine's mineral wealth risks ceding this control to China, which could use its dominance to shape global markets, stifle USA technological advancement, and extend its geopolitical influence. For Ukraine, the minerals represent not just economic opportunity, but survival, a means to fund its defense and rebuild its shattered economy. The collapse of the deal has left Ukraine vulnerable, economically and militarily, while emboldening its adversaries. The broader implications are clear. The world is entering a new era of resource wars, where access to critical minerals will determine which nations thrive and which falter. In conclusion, the events of February 28, 2025, are a stark reminder of the fragility of global alliances and the high stakes of economic and geopolitical competition. The collapse of the USA-Ukraine minerals deal is not just a diplomatic failure, it is a missed opportunity to secure the resources that will shape the future. As we move forward, it is crucial to recognize that the real battle is not just over territory or ideology, but over the raw materials that power our world. The Holy Grail is control over these resources, and the fight for them has only just begun.